tractor show like the Southern Farm Days doesn't happen without the work of a lot of volunteers and some strong leadership. And Robert Mills, you are the president of the Cape Fear Farm Heritage Association that puts this show on. Tell us a little bit about what some of the goals of Southern Farm Days really are.
We try to educate the younger generations about what farming was when we were coming up, and it's it's not like farming used to be anymore. It's just altogether a different thing now. And that's our main goal, is for education.
And this is the 12th annual show. I know you had a couple of years with the pandemic where you didn't get to have a show, but you're pretty excited about folks coming together again and having the opportunity to kind of look over some classic tractors and the rest of the show?
Yes, sir. We had a couple of years we couldn't do anything because of the pandemic, and then we reorganized in June of last year, and we started planning, and this is where we're at today.
What is it that you really like about having a gathering like this in the spring of the year, every March, having all these folks come together with the Cape Fear Farm Heritage Association?
I think it's because we've been shut up all winter, and in the cold weather that we've had this year, and now we can get out and enjoy each other. I like to meet people. I've never met a stranger in my life, and I just like to get out and meet different people.
Now, you have brought a few tractors to the show. I know you've got some red and some green. Tell us about the tractor that's sitting right here.
Well, this is a 1959 430 that a man offered it to me at a good price, and I couldn't turn it down, so I took it home, and before I got it off the trailer, I had it running, and then when I got it running, I started working on it, got it cleaned up, got it repainted, and here it is.
So that 430 didn't look quite this good then when you first got it?
No, my wife said, "Where'd you get that junk from?" As she did with all that I brought home. Even when I bring home, she said, "Where'd you get that junk from?" But it's a lot of work, but it's enjoyable. It's something, if you're mechanically inclined, you like to do stuff like that, and I've always been that way. And my granddaddy was a blacksmith, and everybody tells me I took after him.
And that John Deere two-cylinder engine, I mean, that is the sound that so many collectors really do love. How do you feel about the engine, the power of this 430?
I'm surprised, because that thing right there is telling what it would do as far as pulling the plows and stuff like that, because you cut one off, you better not get off of it because it'll run through the barn door.
And the 430, was this a North Carolina tractor, do you think?
Yeah, I bought it in Whiteville, North Carolina. I bought it from a guy in Whiteville, North Carolina. Yeah.
And what were these tractors good for? I know it's a pretty narrow frame on this tractor.
They are two-row tractors. You can put two-row cultivators on them, or you can put a one-row cultivator on them. And the way it's set up now, it's set up for a one-row cultivator, which it had part of the cultivators on when I bought it, but it didn't have a complete set, so I never did try to put the cultivators back on.
And I know you've worked with Farmall tractors, you've worked with a few different kinds of tractors, but what do you like when you're driving the John Deere 430?
I just like that power and that putting. I always said they ruined the John Deere when they took the put out of them. I just like the way they sound.
How about the driver comfort in the John Deere 430? By 1959, do you think John Deere had a pretty good setup for the driver?
I think it's comfortable. Sometimes we have 2-hour rides on them, and it's very comfortable to me. It's real nice to ride, drive, run, listen to it, and everything about them is nice as far as I'm concerned.
And if you're here at the Southern Farm Days, you take a trip around the field of tractors, you see all colors. You all really do your best to kind of bring all different kinds of tractors here.
Yes, we got. I don't know if we got one of every kind, but we got a whole lot of different kinds. Yes, and we don't have really any unusual ones now, but we have in the past had some very unusual ones.
And how about this 430? Do you think this was kind of rare back in the day?
I think so, because didn't very many people have them. In fact, I don't know anybody that had a 430. I know people had 40s, but not 430s.
Why do you think it's so important to kind of preserve this history? It's in the name, Cape Fear Farm Heritage Association. Why do you think it's so important to do that?
Well, you take most generations younger than me don't even really know what farming's about, because they went to all these modern machines and everything, and nobody really knows what. When you say that you plowed a mule, they look at you like you're an old man or something like that. But I think it's very important that we, that we let the younger generation know these things and what we did.
I know when you were growing up, you farmed with mules and everything. What's it like on a tractor now? You pretty happy that you have a little bit of power underneath you?
Yeah, I like the comfort and the ride better than anything else, not having a wall. That makes it a lot better. It does. Yeah.
All right, Robert. Thanks for sharing the story of Southern Farm Days and your John Deere 430.
Thank you very much, Ted.
All right, Robert Mills, he's the president of the Cape Fear Farm Heritage Association, and he and a whole lot of other folks here are dedicated to preserving agricultural history. Thanks for catching Classic Tractor Fever. If green is your scene, be sure to check out these other classic stories. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to keep those classic tractor stories rolling.